ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಎಂದೂ ಮಾಸದ ನೆನಪು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳಿದಿರುವಂತೆ ಮೊದಲು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ ಯಾರಾದರೂ? ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್. ವೇದಾಂತದ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಸಭಿಕರು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸರ ಜನ್ಮದಿನ, ಜಯಂತಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ವೇದಾಂತದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಂಜೆಯನ್ನು ಕಳೆಯೋಣ. ಸದಾಶಿವ ಸಮಾರಂಭಾಂ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯಮಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮದಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಪ್ರಿಯಂತಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರುಪರಂಪರಾಂ ರತ್ನಾಕರ ಧೌತಪದಾಂ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಕಿರೀಟಿನೀಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮರಾಜಶ್ರೀ ರತ್ನಾಢ್ಯಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಭಾರತ ಮಾತರಂ. ಕಳೆದ 17 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಿರಾಮಯ ಯೋಗಕುಟೀರಂ ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಸೇವಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯೋಗ ಮುಖೇನ ಸೇರುವುದು, ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನು ಸೇರುವುದು. ನಿರಾಮಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿರೋದು, ರೋಗವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಮಲಿನವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಮುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ ರೋಗಗಳಿಂದ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಕಡೆಗೆ, ಕತ್ತಲಿನಿಂದ ಬೆಳಕಿನ ಕಡೆಗೆ, ಮೃತ್ಯುವಿನಿಂದ ಅಮೃತತ್ವದ ಕಡೆಗೆ, ಕತ್ತಲೆಯಿಂದ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಸೇರೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಪಯಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ವಿ. ನಿರಾಮಯ ಮೊದಲು ಸ್ಥಿರಂ ಸುಖಂ ಆಸನಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಅಷ್ಟಾಂಗ ಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಮತ್ತು 4ನೇ ಆಯಾಮಗಳನ್ನು ವಿವರಿಸ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಸ್ಥಿರಂ ಸುಖಂ ಆಸನಂ ಅನ್ನೋದರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿತ್ತವೃತ್ತಿ ನಿರೋಧವನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಸಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹ, ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸಂಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಯೋಗ. ಹಾಗೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅದರ ಕೊನೆಯ ಉದ್ದೇಶ, ಗುರಿ, ಜೀವಾತ್ಮ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು 17 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಯೋಗ ಮುಖೇನ, ಯೋಗ ಥೆರಪಿ ಮುಖೇನ ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳು, ಬೌದ್ಧಿಕ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು, ಸುಮಾರು 200-300 ಈ ಥರ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ವಿ. ಅನೇಕ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಗುರುಗಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಜನರು ಬಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಆ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗಿವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸಹಾಯಕರನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸರಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಷಯ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ವೇದಾಂತ, ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಏನ್ಷೈಂಟ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಇಂಟು ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಪಯಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸೂಕ್ತವಾಗೇ ಇದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ವೇದಾಂತ, ಸನಾತನ ವಿವೇಕದ ಬೆಳಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಜೀವನ. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ವೇದಾಂತ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಿವಿ ನಿಬಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥರ ಅನುಯಾಯಿಗಳು. ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥರನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ವೇದಾಂತಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಕರೀತಿದ್ರು, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ವೇದಾಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅನುಮಾನಗಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಂಶಯಗಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ಆಧುನಿಕ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಗ್ಗ ನೆನಪಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಡಿ ವಿ ಗುಂಡಪ್ಪನವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ರಾಮ ನಡಿಯಿಟ್ಟ ನೆಲ, ಭೀಮ ನುಸುರಿದ ಗಾಳಿ, ವ್ಯೋಮದೀಂ ಭಗೀರಥನು ತಂದ ಸುರತಟನಿ, ವ್ಯೋಮಂ ಸೋನಂ ಪೆತ್ತ ಕಡಲೆ ಪುರಾತನಗಳಿವೆ, ನಾವೆಂತೂ ಹೊಸಬರೆಲೋ ಮಂಗುತಿಮ್ಮ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇದು ರಾಮ ಇಟ್ಟ ನಾಡು, ಭೀಮ ಉಸಿರಾಡಿದಾನೆ, ಭಗೀರಥ ಗಂಗೆ ತಂದಿಯಾಳೆ, ಕಡಲುಗಳನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದೆ ಈ ಭೂಮಿ, ಇನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಹೊಸಬ್ರು, ನಾವು ಹೊಳಬ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಕಗ್ಗ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿ ವಿ ಜಿಯವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೊಡನೆ ಇವತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಚಿನ್. ಅವರೊಂದು ಕಿರು ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. Dr. Sachin, who is a Punekar. Punekar means he is born in Pune. He is graduated with medical degree from Pune in 2000. After 3 years of private practice, he joined the Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences for his postgraduate training in general surgery. In 2010, he completed his specialization in plastic surgery and focused on reconstructive microsurgery, serving in various Bangalore institutions. In 2024, Dr. Sachin had the opportunity to learn from the renowned Professor Koshima during a fellowship, where he honed his skills in super microsurgery. He is now leading a team at Acharya Sushruta Hospital, a growing center for lymphedema treatment. After the professional details of Dr. Sachin, let us now turn to his hobbies, that is ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ. ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ, ಅವರ ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Most of us do not know Dr. Sachin is a great bird watcher and a wonderful photographer. The pictures he has captured of various birds are amazing. I think he will display a couple of photographs today. And Dr. Sachin is an ardent student of spiritual studies and an important pillar of Param Vedanta, a study circle propagating our ancient scriptures under the stewardship of Dr. Timmappa Hegde, and that's how he is here today with us. He has been running online classes for young children to teach Bhagavad Gita. 100 to 120 kids across the country log in every Thursday for these classes. And those students have become teachers now. They themselves run the class. They have become moderators. They have become presenters. They have become teachers. That's the beauty of that system. Dr. Sachin's full name is Sachin Chavre. Sachin, all of us know, is combination of two things. Anybody? Two things. Sachin. I should have told except Hindu. Sat and Chit, existence and consciousness. So he is a combination of Sat and Chit. And whenever he is there, we will get Ananda. So he is Sachidananda Swarupa. The thing is, his full name is Sachin Chavre. Chavre, Chavare. Chava is a word which all of us know now. We are very familiar with it. Chava is, all of us, most of you must have seen the movie Chava. That is a Sambhaji, son of Shivaji's movie, from where Sachin comes. Chava. Let's listen to this Chava roaring, this lion cub, about our ancient wisdom integrated with modern life. Dr. Sachin, please.
So I really thank you all my friends and those who will be knowing me after my lecture. I thank you really from my heart that you have come all the way on a Saturday. You know, Saturday is a family day, Sunday is a family day. And I would like to make this crisp and clear presentation. I'm very sorry, my limitation is I can't speak fluently in Kannada. But ellarigu namaste, namaskara, and I look forward to have a discussion rather than a presentation, because I am not at all as gifted as Venkatesh ji, Madhusudan ji, and Shinoy sir. But I'm really glad to be among you, and my baby steps, how it went through, and how it could help some of you or few of you. That's my efforts here. So let me start, because you will be having a lot of questions when I finish my talk. So can I ask one simple question with a story? So when I was doing one surgery, and I think it was my 40th birthday. Today I'm 47. 40th birthday, I was operating, and I was not able to put a suture. As a surgeon, we do suturing. And my staff was helping me a lot. So I said, I just asked her, do you think something is wrong? She said nothing. She was laughing, but. So I thought something is wrong. And I'm going very near to my subject and operating. Then she said, nothing, sir, you're getting old. Oh my goodness, you know. At 40, someone says this, especially a surgeon, you know. Surgeon ego is very big ego. So I really felt that time I went, I saw my eyes checked, and I got a number. I got that plus, you know, presbyopia. Then I had this question, why do we get, at 40s we lose eyesight, maybe 50s or 60s we have knee pain, at 70s half of the set of teeth which is given by God is gone, and maybe late 70s, many more trouble, maybe memory is lost. Can any one of you tell me, except my very intelligent friends here, I want others to interact, why do this happen to a human being? Let it be anything. Aging. That's true. Aging is true. But why it's, even the dogs, everyone is aging.
After birth, it has come to one full circle.
Okay.
So it has to take a graph, like in the peak, then gradually it will come down, and then it will merge with the Panchabhuta.
Okay. Okay, I accept that. Anything in a Vedantic way, Adhyatmic way, the scientific way is correct. Yeah, sir, please.
It reminds you, by the time you change your profession from Vritti to Pravritti.
Fantastic. So, like in Bhaja Govindam, no? If Venkatesh ji is there here, Venkatesh ji, that shlok you can complete. Balastava krida saktaha, tarunistava taruni saktaha. Yes. Vruddha Chintaha Sakta, Kopina Sakta, Brahmaneva. Yeah, so what our senses are, this we always live with the senses. You're all talking to me, listening to me, interacting with me with five senses. We all believe that. God is taking one by one, withdrawing it from you. As she said correctly, it is a downgrading phase. But what God is trying to say, at least now, become to your higher self, be inwards. But what do we do in modern life? I got my best specs. Actually, when I was not having the specs, I would not see well. But now I have HD vision. I can see HD. Maybe when I grow more, I will have knee replacement. Because I'm a surgeon, I have to have knee replacement. I will start running better. And maybe all the teeth sets, implants, I can bite on many different things. So this is what is, learning from the ancient and applying it to the modern science, modern wisdom. But if we can connect this well in each of our daily life, that is what is practical Vedanta. With this introduction, I will start my talk today. Already this has been done. You can chant with me. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So without Guru, there is nothing. So my Guru here, Hegde sir, who is in the white shirt, and our all Param Vedanta's Guru, this Swami Paramarthananda ji. And Swami Paramarthananda ji, he is teaching, he is just Dakshinamurti for all of us. And we started learning, there is a story for this also. I don't know how much time do I have? 7:40? No. I think this is lesser is better. Okay, so I can then add some good stories. Oh, enough, more than enough. So the first time I met Swamiji is through my Ardhangini, my better half. I was not at all interested in any Vedanta. Okay, I was interested to know about science and higher science. I studied always in an institute where, like Amma, 10 years I was with Amma. I used to wonder why everywhere Amma's posters are there. And if you are too much with this, you are hating some things. But I was always in the Sanigdhya, in the community of such people, 10 years there. Then since last 15 years, I'm with Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji and with Swamiji. So meeting Swamiji was incidental. My wife, we met first time and we went to him. And I was wondering why I'm going to Swamiji. Swamiji gave me, okay, as everyone he wishes good, he gave me some CDs. If any one of you know, Swamiji has lectures and he comes here. And the CDs I took, I tried to listen because we are newly married. We have to listen to our better half. Because I thought she will ask, my exams will be there. So I will just put it on and nice sleep. Nice relaxing sleep with this soothing voice, but I could not understand anything. Until I met my next guru, that is Hegde sir. And Hegde sir, he is very calm personality. I was working in the same institution. And one day he took a big gathering of 200 people. And he said, he's going to speak on going to Kailas. His experience of to be in Kailas. And that was like, I'm a trekker. So I went there to just listen to him. And in the end, he says, who wants to join me for the next Kailas Yatra? So I was like both hands and even both the legs also can get up. I was saying, I want to join. Because Kailas student was going to go. So as soon as I came down, he said, can you write your email so that we contact you? Okay, I gave the email. Next day, promptly a mail comes. There is Bhagavad Gita class and you are expected to join the class. Now, this is a catch-22 situation. I am not interested in Bhagavad Gita. I am interested in Kailash. So I asked my wife, my better half, please, you are very inclined in this. Can you join this class? And as any spouse will react, it is your headache. You manage it. So first class I missed. And sir has a very peculiar way of coming to the hospital and rounds. He has a big number of people, 15, 20 people behind him. So it's very difficult to miss him. I was walking along the ramp and he says, Dr. Chavre, You were not there in the class. So now I can't say anything. And I said, I'm very sorry, I had something and all that. He said, okay, next class. But I'll say, when I went to the next class, I was very hesitant and sitting always behind. I'm always a backbencher. Once I sat, and the first 2-3 questions which he asked, it was asking to me in my inside. And the answers we started giving about human being, about Purushartha, what is the goal of a human life. And that was a turning point for me. I openly declare that after that, there was no more this Sachin, a doctor, a so-and-so personality. And slowly from the backbench, I was the first bencher, always before anyone. And till today, I try to be maintaining that. And it is just a journey which I will try to tell in my today's class. So the disclaimer is, I am not anyone. I am not any very big graduate in Vedanta. Whatever I have understood, I am going to solely tell you. All the mistakes are mine. I accept whatever I have committed a mistake in this class, it is mine. And whatever accolades you might find, it is only to my lotus feet of my teacher. So with that, and I definitely want a lot of questions from you, and that will be at the end. So what is the best medium of teaching? Anyone? Fantastic. Anything else? Excellent. Yes. If I say this, Maunam, because all that what you want to know is within you, within your internal universe. And as I go ahead in the series, I can tell you. And the best example here is none other than Dakshinamurti. You all know the story, but just to recap, all these students, they're already highly acclaimed. After a long discussion, in our parampara, there is a question and it will be answered. Guru will answer the questions of the students. So this was going on, and it was going on and on and on till just he stopped speaking. He just stopped speaking because one question leads to another answer, that answer will lead to another question. So when he stopped speaking, only then all this 6 people, they understood what they have to understand. But obviously today I can't do that, and we have to evolve to understand that. Even in Japan, I was seeing one big monument to Dwarapalakas like thing, and when I asked the Japanese, what is this? And they said it is Aun, A-U-N. And when I searched, Aun means Om. And they say that is the language they speak. So they don't have to talk. They don't have to do any actions. It just happens between these two. It was the poster of the biggest conference which I went to Japan. So I was very surprised that they also follow the same thing. And who doesn't know him? Master of Silence. Master of Silence. The 2 things which we have to know about his teaching, entire teaching. Can anyone tell me? One is Chumma ira. Don't speak anything, just sit. And second, Jnaniyar. But to know who I am exactly, first you have to make that Chumma ira means not just not speaking verbally, but also with minds silenced. And that's what I would bring into today's discussion. Obviously, Gautam Buddha, he used to have the entire sermon for 45 minutes to 1 hour, just standing and silently looking at everyone and blessing everyone and not speaking a word, and he leaves. And he transfers all the, like today's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi transfers data. He may be having that type of energies. So as we know, it is not possible, and I want to communicate with you. But we require speech to communicate in the outside world, but we require silence to communicate with your own world and dive deep within. Because the inner world is far, far bigger than the outer world. And for this sake itself, I would like to talk about Gurukula, where Gurukula has been now almost vanished. Very few centers are having Gurukula education, where children at a very young age, they come, they sit, they be always with the Guru. Even now, I have discussed many times with my good friend Venkatesh ji. We are lacking this. We are doing a lot of theory with Hegde sir. In fact, I asked sir, can I come with stay with you for 7 days? Then with hesitation, I said, okay, 2 days. But it's no more available to be with your own Guru and stay with him and see how he is practically doing things. Because after all, theory is very easy to understand. You can be 100 out of 100 marks in theoretical way. Practicality, if you want to learn, Guru can become your mirror when you are with him for a longer time. And that's what Gurukula was there. The younger generation learned not just from the talk or the speeches, but what the Guru does whole day. He is one who is there with him for all the things. All the love is transferred, every activity is transferred, and such gurus are very difficult to find, and one we have here is Shinoy sir. So that's why I think being with him here is itself your blessings. So you don't have to actually learn anything. What he's doing, you have to do. That is the Gurukula system. And how does it help? I'll just come to the ashramas. We all know, we all know this, but there is 4 ashramas. And the first ashram, if you see nowadays, this is another story. My child was maybe UKG, upper KG, what do you call it? Whatever it is. At the fourth year of the life, you put the child in that school. And there was some turn, I have to go and pick her up. I was standing in a queue. So many ladies, they are asking the teacher, my child is speaking only 1 letter word. The other child is speaking 2 letter words. My child cannot speak from 1 to 10. That other child is speaking from 1 to 20 in UKG. And then and the teacher also answering. She's feeling sorry that your child is not able to speak and all that. But then I realized, what do we do in this younger age? Do we burden these kids with all these jagrans and so many studies? And in fact, nowadays they're giving one, like we do in the 12, after you graduate, we have something like graduation ceremony and big posters are there. I don't think so. This is any ancient wisdom to follow. I'm sorry if someone is a school teacher or someone is a principal of this school. Please forgive my ignorance. They have to do for the business sake. But teaching was never a business. Even now, we revere the teachers. They are like, we always say that if I have to touch feet of God, and if teacher is standing in front of me, I touch the feet of Guru first. Isn't it? Because Guru is, Tumi ho mata, tumi pita ho, tumi bandhu ho, sakha tumi ho. So if Guru can teach you the lessons which is only possible in this phase of your life, brahmacharya, when you are very innocent, you are receptive, you are to take from the society, you don't have to worry about giving it back or sustain some things. So this is the most important phase. Unfortunately, in today's world, because of whatever pressure, it is not going according to what ancient wisdom has taught us. And I think it's all up to us how to develop this phase, because today's children are tomorrow's youth. Tomorrow's youth may be next generation's politicians, doctors, engineers, and then we only have to blame ourselves. So that's why with my Guru's teaching, I started this small efforts from our side, Param Vedanta, where we have children getting educated in our own scriptures. And it really it pays dividend, not now, but in the next phase. And what do we learn in this first? I have divided again the 4 things, or 4 Ds, Swamiji says. Discipline, then discrimination, dispassion and desire. Again, if you see this, this is my differentiation. It is not differentiated. Everything can be in one ashrama, or you can learn in equal ashrama. But the first discipline, or we say Shatka Sampatti, so 6 important discipline has to gain in the first ashrama for anyone. Because if it is not, the base is not made well, no structure is going to sustain it for longer time. So this 6, the discipline which has to come, it has to be in this ashrama, where you learn everything. Now coming to today's topic, What do I mean by practical Vedanta? Anyone? What Vedanta we all know. What is practical Vedanta? Yes, which you apply in your daily life. Yes, and not just daily life. Like this boat, or what boat only, it's called, when it is going in a nice calm sea. Consider the sea as your daily life. Everything is fine, lot of bank balance, children are somewhere doing well. Whatever phase of your life, my child is small, I have enough money, I have nothing to think about, and then I am sailing well. That is not practical Vedanta for me. What is practical Vedanta is when there is ups and downs of life, each wave hits you so badly, some near and dear one's loss, your own some disease, or some worries of your financial worry, emotional stress, when that hits you a lot, what is your reaction? Are you following Vedanta, or you have forgotten Vedanta in a ziffy? If you are still following Vedanta, even if it is little bit, then you are doing practical Vedanta. This is if you forget everything what I told today, but if you remember this slide, that in the most difficult time, if you can follow 5% also Vedanta and apply it, then it is practical Vedanta, which is the need of modern life. Because we all know we are in the last part of Kali Yuga. We are not in the Satyuga, where lakhs of years are given to a human birth, and to make, they were to do 10,000 years of tapas. If you just put up your book, 1,000 years of tapas, how is it possible? 100 years only, maximum. If you are very healthy living lifestyle, 100 years, probably with being with sir, 100 years definitely for all of you. But I consider 80 years is good enough. So now tell me, I don't want to ask your age, especially, but we are already, at least I'm considering I'm in Vanaprastha. Because if you divide 80 into 4, so I'm in Vanaprastha, think about you. So coming to the next ashram, it is Grahastha ashram, and only in this ashram you can use your practical Vedanta to the fullest. Why? Because every quality which you have gained can be tested here. At the family ground, home ground, if you are traveling outside, you can test it. And only in this, you can develop more skills, and you can sharpen your weapons. And you should be a contributor more than a consumer. We agree to this. Because suddenly we go into Vanaprastha or Sannyasa according to the age. But many of the grandmothers, they will have that grandmother ki potli. And if you ever open it, you will see the tiniest of the thing is kept for whom? For the granddaughter, maybe granddaughter's granddaughter. So if you don't cultivate the habit of contributing and only consuming in this Grahastha ashrama, I don't think so. I am not sannyasi, or I am not in that age, but you never ever going to cultivate that habit or dhanam. You cannot do it. So now even Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been very vocal about Bhagavad Gita, and he has clearly mentioned, if ever anything has to be read, or entire universe, anything is there to be read, it is Bhagavad Gita. And if it is not there in the Bhagavad Gita, you don't have to know about it. So it is all inclusive. It is for the Grahastha, of the Grahastha, by the Grahastha. We all know Vashishta, Veda Vyasa has actually made into Gita as such, but it was said by Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield. We are all in Grahastha life, means we are in the battlefield. Every day we will have something surfacing as a good thing, bad thing, ugly thing, everything in everyday life. So it can just use as it is what was told to Krishna, Arjuna with us. And 708 verses, I don't want to go in depth of it, but importantly, the first 6 chapters, it is talking about Tvam, means us. And it has been nicely described how Krishna loses his focus, he is completely confused. And he asks so many questions in the beginning of at the end of the first chapter, beginning of the second chapter, and then from the second chapter, 11th verse, when Krishna starts telling why are you doing like this, oh fool? You seem to be a Pandit, but you're acting like a fool, and he just starts giving him left, right, center as a good teacher after listening to him. And then in the second half of Bhagavad Gita is about God himself. A lot of bhakti is described, and finally Asi. So this verse is not from Bhagavad Gita, but we have it chanted every time before Bhagavad Gita. So this is one of the verses which I always explain to the children. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopala Nandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahat. We all know this, but why I put this? Because there is nothing else. Everything is a condensation of Bhagavad Gita. So if you know these 701 verses, if you can remove the 18th chapter also and the first chapter also, maybe 600 verses is enough. If you want to remove the 16th and 17th chapter also, 500 verses is enough. Finally, if you can only know the second and third chapter, 70, 80, 100 verses also enough. But this is what is there. And but we should know, are we ready to be like the calf or Partha or the Sudhir Bhokta? Sudhir Bhokta is none other than people like us who are doing satsanga, who are wanting to know about God. Are we ready for it? Because what was the difference between, how can we say we are ready? Anyone? Not just you sitting here and I am standing here, not ready. How can we say that I am ready to receive something? Especially from Bhagavad Gita. So I'll just skip this and come to the next. Yeah. Why was Arjuna ready, and why was the ideal student? Maybe many qualities, but one quality. Listening, he was inquisitive, but more importantly, he had given completely surrendered to him. Sharanagati. And it is complete surrender. Why I will tell complete surrender is this. You can see this many times all around, big posters. When Vastraharan was going on, initially he was calling Krishna from the beginning. But Krishna doesn't appear immediately. Why? She was holding with the other hand the Vastra. Only time she completely surrendered, Krishna immediately appeared and stopped all this drama. In our daily life, true, we are always thinking about God in half the mind divided. Oh, I can only handle this, or what will happen? I will take care of this person, or it's the ego which is holding us away from God. When the ego is completely dissolved, it is like Krishna's basuri. It will just flow. Krishna will make all his activities through you without any delay. So why I have told about, before telling Veda Anta, always Guruji says there is something called Veda Purva also. And we have jumped the bus because we as educationalist or literate of modern science, we have never gone to Gurukula. We means I'm talking general, not every one of you, but we don't follow the basic things which everyone has to follow, Sandhya Vandanam, or everyday morning prayers, afternoon, evening, and some ways of living. So Veda Purva, if you have not done, no problem. Today, through the lecture, I can tell you, if one thing you can follow, it is this Pancha Mahayagnya. I know for some it will be repetition, but Pancha Mahayagnya, if you follow from today also, every day, Swamiji says this is enough to balance out not only the world within you, but world around you and the entire world. Because you all know, in Pancha Mahayagnya, early morning after you take bath and everything, you do Deva Yagnya, you do rituals, then you give time for understanding your own literature. So you start developing your brains, Meda Shakti. Then you take care of your elders, especially whoever is besides you, your uncle, auntie, mother, father, anyone who you feel they require help. Then this Bali Yajna or Bhuta Yajna, where Pashus, anyone which cannot make food for themselves or store for themselves, Rangoli also is a very simplest way of doing a Bhuta Yajna. Rangoli which is not done by the chemicals, but by the rice powder or something which is taken by the ants. And obviously, Atiti Deva Bhava, or where any human form, anyone who is visiting you, you can give it in a different way. You don't have to give money, even time. Giving time itself is also that yajna. So this 5 yajna, if you do religiously every day, is enough for what? Chitta Shuddhi. Because if you can't, it's like we want to take a train to Delhi, or tomorrow we are all going to Chennai. And if you don't have the ticket to enter the train, how do I reach Chennai? Destination I know, my goal I know, but if I cannot sit in the train, if I'm not eligible, so the ticket to go from karma to karma yoga is after doing Chitta Shuddhi. And Chitta Shuddhi is done by many ways, but one of the shortcut in modern life, we don't have time. We cannot sit and chant the whole day. Someone have to go for house makers, they have to do whole day work. If they start chanting, I think others will sit on their head. So tiffin box, reading the other things, cleaning house, everything takes time. So if you do the Pancha Mahayagna, Chitta Shuddhi, you will end up being a karma yogi. So now we all know the goal of human life. Coming finally to the goal. Our goal is very, very straightforward. We make it a long term. We all know that goal is divided into 4. The Purusharthas we say. And the first 2, Artha and Kama, is very basics. Everyone has to do it. But Dharma, Moksha is difficult to follow definitely in today's world, but we can follow it. And there is no shortcut for the goal. Final goal is Moksha. It's all theoretical, but I still repeat. Now, the ticket for the Karma Yoga is, I told, Chitta Shuddhi by at least Pancha Mahayagna. Then coming to Jnana Yoga or Jnana Yogyata, to enter into the teaching, because what I have done, I have just jumped and started listening to Swamiji or my Guru Hegde sir, and Hegde sir always reminds us why we are still struggling or we are not getting what we want is because there is a lot of vasanas and a lot of, so we don't only know about this janma, but there are so many janmas what we have done, and that is holding you in the form of vasanas, the vrittis or whatever negative vrittis. And if you go through this, then only you can have Jnana Yogyata. Jnana Yoga Prapti is totally different. We can't just have that catch the bus and I have got, it's not like that. But finally we all know that we have to go to Jnanam, and that is the only way of moksha. These are a few last slides, even though I was given more time. So let's know about, little bit more about Purushartha. As I told in the 7th chapter, 3rd verse, that many humans fall prey to this. In the 17th chapter, 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, entire description is given. How people with false vision, actually we should have Divya Drushti, looking at each one of you as none other than me. But it can't happen, it just can't happen. If a list is given, that okay, you look everything same, but there will be a small list. How can I look this enemy as my own? There will be 1 or 2% at least in that corner. So it's not easy, but at least we can have a bigger list of good things. So very, very difficult from Artha and Kama. It is, you are most of the desires which will make you to do more work. Like that carrot which is hanging in front of the donkey, and he tries to catch it, but it moves forward. So Artha and Kama, 90% of people will be lost there. And Dharma, very few will reach to this goal. But then what about moksha? Is it possible? It's possible. But in today's world, we see this is from internet, but this was the most best description about what is happening. For the small drops of pleasure, the person is hanging on a small twig, and that twig is already been eaten by if you see that white and black mouse, it can be Papa Punya. He's already been eaten by it. He's going to fall down. And someone higher up is giving his hand. Moksha is actually, like Bhagavan is ready with the moksha, but he doesn't want to take that. And his vasana is huge. It is already shaking that entire tree. He's going to fall where? In the hell. Now, little bit about Bhagavan. If you see Tirupati next time, you go, stand in the line for 18 hours, 20 hours, and you get 5 seconds. Can anyone tell me how Tirupati Bhagwan is it? No, it's not here. Okay, how is his hands? Have you ever seen? Yeah, like this hand? Yeah, okay. So one is actually, Swamiji says one hand is paralyzed. He wants to take this hand and give moksha to you. But everyone who entered the Tirupati, what is that, Garbhagraha, before that there is hundi. And hundi में पहला कुछ डालना है और उधर ही बोल देते हैं, अरे भाई मेरा वो बच्चे का एडमिशन करवा दो, मेरे बच्चे का शादी नहीं हो रहा, ये करवा दो. Bhagwan will give only that only, no? Then you have to again go to the same line. Bhagwan hand is ready, but still next time you go there you forget. Something must be there, that entrance something is there, that hundi is seen, you put something and you get something. God is ready to give moksha, like he is ready to pick that fellow up, but small drop of that desire is still we want to lick it and we enjoy it and we forget it. So even in today's world, it is very important to know the goal and always try to achieve that goal. So dharma is taken mostly wrongly, because I can say I'm a doctor and my dharma is only to treat, but many a times patient, I have to understand, when he comes in, he must be having so many psychological barrier which he can't just tell, because it takes time to understand. And whenever I was in education, if you've seen Three Idiots, it is typically same. One of my friend's father is doctor. He was told to use this rather than this. And it is true. He was using literally this. And I have no doctor or engineer at home. So I used to patiently wait, and then the person who is supposed to examine by stethoscope in my first year, he will be breathless. He's already a TB patient. And 20 people going on him, jumping like monkeys. And then I used to go and ask my teacher, sir, I did not get chance. You idiot, use this and go in front. But that's when I learned, this is not for me. This is not going to be the way I should learn medicine, or in fact, maybe engineering, I don't know. But this is not the way. There, if you know your rights, but rights means not that, first you should know the responsibilities. As a doctor, I understood the responsibilities to treat the patient, not to see the purse. And from beginning, I have thought that, and it's continuing still, by God's grace. So many of us take as dharma means my right. If I have done this, I have to get this. But responsibilities stands over right is dharma. Now you can apply it to anywhere you are, being a wife, being a husband, being a sister, daughter. We all want rights in the property, but when there is hypertension coming in, diabetes coming in, it also comes from the property only, that we don't want. So in the modern world, we have to accept. One of our Madam, Shamla Madam says, Sukha is prasada, Dukkha is Mahaprasada. Accept both. So first accept the responsibility, then you can go for the rights. Now these 4 things totally odd, but when I am talking about, I don't want to go into Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, because that will be an entire different set of timings and it will take long time. But the 4 things, what is stopping us from being what we are, understanding what we should really be, is ahara, tapas, danam, and first start with ahara. Sorry, I should have not shown you this. We all know ahara means first is food. But only after starting reading this, in modern science, if you see so many YouTube channels, how to get fit. Fit means you eat less. But what about eating properly? No one teaches. In fact, in my, sir also will be agreeing to this, when we don't know what is this disease, and we label it something and we send it to food, you go to allergy. And you know what? Generally the nutritionist, generally ladies only will be there, she will be 19 years old, passed out. And she will tell to a pregnant woman what to eat. And please see that list what she will give. She will give protein X powder, vitamin tablets. But if that woman, I always say, you can go and ask your grandmother, that is the best nutritionist you have at home. And if I tell that, obviously, even the next patient who is sitting outside will go away from me. And the hospital will say, you better be at home. Don't come here. So, but that's the thing. But when I understood ahara is not just what you take from one one receiver of you have. We have 5. So what you listen, what you see, what you touch, what you smell, and obviously taste, tongue. And coming to tongue, no weapon is bigger than this tongue. We all know. The output can be sometimes so harmful. The input is sometimes okay, but output is very harmful sometimes. So if you can take care of these 5 things, I think the goal of moksha is not at all far. Because this is the things which when we cannot receive things properly, we cannot comprehend properly, it's going to be tough. As we see, even sometimes I do this when I'm alone, but many a times family getting together, mother, father and daughter or son, all will be on device. And I don't know, my family, my father doesn't stay here, but they also want separate television. And if it is a bigger, louder solution, more better. So is this what we are going to do in modern world? No. If we can change this, because every day we have chance to chant the mantra, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam, Brahmeva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. That means whatever is in front of me is God himself. Whoever made this with the utensils is God, and the person who is going to be digesting it is God only. This 3 times we can remind ourselves while doing this ahara, at least one way. So if we can do this, remind ourselves, then comes the worship, which is very, very rasila. Worship in our time, now I don't want to claim anything, but I don't want to even, but little bit, we can do khatta mita talk. Kumbh Mela, how many of you went? What is your experience? You changed yourself after that? What I am trying to say, those who have not gone, they should feel better, no? So anyway, nothing to tell about you have gone to Kumbh Mela. But if the constellation was, this we can have argument afterwards. So the constellation were very nice that time. Was it not same for our Kaveri also here? Or in Andhra, the other river, Krishna, Godavari? The constellation from so far remains same every time for, if it was straight, for the world here down. That's my belief, totally my belief. We can definitely discuss afterwards. But worshipping something, again it is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. And most of the time, when you worship for something to get in return, is not sattvic. Not sattvic. So sattvic, you all know, when you worship for the entire universe, universal good is sattvic. Otherwise, it falls in rajasic, and tamasic definitely no one of us follow. And yeah, and lastly, tapas. So it is kaika, vachika, manasa. Which is the most stronger in this? Manasa. Yes. So Osho says, whenever you say, I am not going to have food today. Today is upvasa. And that person will be sitting very near to the kitchen. So physically you are not going to have food, or even verbally you will not take anything, but mentally you are already near the kitchen and want to have food. This cannot be called as tapas. Because if manas, you are eating the food, means you are already doing the damage. Same way, if this is life's pendulum, the more you try to sway on one side, I won't do this, actually you are swaying on the other side. So samatvam. If you can balance whatever you do with the not swaying too much on either side, is tapas. And ultimately dhanam. Now dhanam, why you have to do dhanam? In everything, every Jainism or anything you take, dhanam is very much highly regarded. But if you expect something out of the return, what you give, is it called dhanam? Yes or no? No. But you see, most of the temples I see, big list of charity given. Today also, if you give 100 rupees, you want a receipt. Is it called dhanam? No. So I think today I don't know whether we should do or not, why we should do. Dhanam can be, they say, दाएं हाथ से दिया बाएं हाथ को भी पता नहीं चलना चाहिए. Whatever you are given with the right hand, left hand should not even know about it. That is dhanam. That is real dhanam. Dhanam need not be money. Dhanam need not be money only. Dhanam can be your good company, your help when it is required. Not that you give blanket when it is already hot summer season. So that is not dhanam. And not to give dhanam when we see some people are just begging out of, in the night they will go and have something else of your money. That is also not right dhanam. Dhanam is required to bring the balance between the society. We all know 99%, maybe 1% of Indian population, all the money is 1% people, and that's why the 99% will have revolt. They don't accept things easily. Taxpayer will be less. So if that can be balanced, the money can be balanced, and that's why God has given us Chaturmasa, then so many masas where we have to do dhanam compulsorily. So if we can follow that, community at large will be harmonious. And whenever you do dhanam, remember the tree. Tree is the best example of dhanam. It never ever says anything. You take flowers, you take fruits, you take branches, leaves, or even you cut the tree. It just might wipe a little bit. It will just, like a tears, it will flow, but it will give off everything. And lastly, what is moksha? We all know it is freedom, but again, moksha is divided. I have understood it this way: Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta. Now, Jivan Mukta is something during your lifetime, here and now, if you are free. Free of what? The misidentity of your body and mind, and this body mind reacting with the world outside within you, the world within you. If this misidentity is taken off, you are free, you are liberated. And the next is Videha Mukti, which I don't know whether I am going to see, because I am not going to be alive when my body is dead. So this leads to Aham Brahmasmi. This jnanam, when you get, it can be just right now, or it can be after or before dying. So this has been described in the 8th chapter very well. And lastly, Swamiji says how to achieve it in our daily life. So reduce or zero in the port. Your possession, whenever you possess something, you have obligation to it. If you have a house or property, you have to have the papers with you. You cannot lose them. You have to keep it very securely. You have to hand over to the next generation. So obligations. And then obviously when you have some things like this, you have relations and you have transactions. If you reduce this port, then you are like that river, which knows the journey started from somewhere else, but it has to assimilate, it has to meet, the end is the sea, the ocean. And during this journey, which may be torturous, it may be very tiring, it may be fulfilling sometimes, people might use you, people might clean you, but it will be focused to the end, that is moksha. With that, what is the litmus test which Swamiji says, and many of my colleagues here have told me that litmus test is, how do you know you are in the right path? In today's world, don't do anything, you ask your spouse. She or he will tell you you are in the right or wrong path. But still, for yourself, how do you know you are in the right path? The frequency, intensity, and recovery of what? Of your emotions, and general emotion is anger or frustration. If you are very frequently getting angry, and it is taking a very high intensity from manasa, it is coming to walk and then even sometimes hand, then it is wrong. And if you are taking a long duration time to recover, this is not right way. So this litmus test we have failed. It should be exactly opposite. It should be zero. And the other one is the golden equation of to be happy, because after all, everything what you do in your life, in our life, we want to be happy. If today you have come here, if you are not feeling happy, then maybe afterwards, the next class, you will ask, sir, call someone who can speak in Kannada first. He will talk for less time. So happiness is very important. So how do you be happy? It's very simple equation. The number of desired you have fulfilled on the number of desire which are left. What would be the best equation? Who is the mathematician here? Sorry, why I'm saying only what is the best equation to be happy? What will be the highest happiness here? What will be the numerator above and denominator? 1:1?
The meaning should be always less.
Yes. So what will be less? So 1 upon half. 1 upon 0. That's why I showed the Shanka. Infinity. Infinity should be happiness. Anantaha. Someone told about Sachit. And Ananda is Ananta. There is limitless happiness. If that you have, this golden equation in mind, you will have Ananta. And lastly, without bhakti, there is no mukti. This is real last line. Without bhakti, there is no mukti. We all know. But where I did not speak about bhakti anywhere. Bhakti is something like if you make a rasgulla preparation. So when the dough is there, when you mix it with your karma or yoga rupa bhakti. It's a karma you're doing. Then when you, after making that small balls and you put it in the syrup, you keep it in the syrup of upasana yoga rupa syrup bhakti. And finally, until unless you taste it yourself, you don't know the ananda. So without putting that fragrance on you, you can't smell the world as good. So Sachit Ananda is nothing but only possible through Bhakti Marga, but with all the Jnanam with it. So we end here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And I will leave you with this video, which
Vedanta says, problem is avidya, solution is gnanam, salvation is being in the bliss. That is Sat, Chit and Ananda. I hope all of you got this Ananda by being with Sachin, I think. So let's give a... And one thing I must tell, that Dr. Sachin was telling the serious most topic, borest topic in a very simple way, without using any jargons, without using any Upanishadic mantras, without using anything conflict. So he took it so simple, he made it so simple, look it so simple. Thank you very much. Let us give a big applause to Dr. Sachin. I request Shanai sir and Dwarkanath to please come and
can't speak if you don't sit.
Sir, it's okay. I'll stand.
ಸಚಿನ್ ಅವರ ಪರಿಚಯ ಹೀಗೆ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಅವರು ವೇದಾಂತ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಒಂದು ರಿಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ನಾನೂ ಇದ್ದೆ 2-3 ದಿವಸದ್ದು ರಿಟ್ರೀಟ್. ಅದು ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅವರ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಆನಂತರ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು ಬಂತು. ಆನಂತರ ಈ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು ಎಡತರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಚಾತುರ್ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟು ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹಳೆ ಟೀಮ್ ಇರೋದರಿಂದ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದಿಯಾರು ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವರನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದಂತ ನೀವೇ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಈ ವೇದಾಂತದ್ದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಂತ ಕೊನೆಗೊಂದು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನಿಗೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ತುಂಬ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್. ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೀ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೀ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಹುಡುಕಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಳೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೂತ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೂರ್ತೀವಿ, ಛತ್ರಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನು. ವಿಪರೀತ ಚಳಿ ಆದರೂ ನಾವೇನು ಚಳಿಗೆ ಬೈಯೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಬೈತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಚಳಿ ಆದರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ವಾರ್ಮ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಆದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನೀನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇನ್ನೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಯಿತು. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಸೇವಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಆಶ್ರಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ತಮ್ಮ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೂ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾದ್ದರಿಂದ ತಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಸೇವಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಕ್ತಾಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಶುಭಂ.
ಆಧುನಿಕ ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮದ ಶಾಂತಿ ಮತದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅಸತೋಮ ಸದ್ಗಮಯ.
ಓಂ ಅಸತೋಮ ಸದ್ಗಮಯ ತಮಸೋಮ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರ್ಗಮಯ ಮೃತ್ಯೋರ್ಮೃತ್ಯುಂಜಯ